Hey guys, it's me Saif and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm gonna focus on functions in Python programming. Well, probably the most important topics in any programming language. So let's get started with the definition of function. So in mathematics, function is something that can give you, some kind of relationship between two or multiple variables. One variable, we usually call it, okay, that's our input. Another variable is like our output. So for example, we write it like this, like y is equal to f of x, where x is a function of y. Let's say the function of y is 2x plus 3. Okay, so here if I say, okay, I have the input as x and output as y. So in a sense, x is kind of like independent variable, y is kind of like dependent variable. So here, if the input of x is equal to 2, you can simply have y is equal to twice x plus 3, where for x equal to 2, it should be like 2 multiplied by 2 plus 3, which means 7. So whenever I am giving you as a value of x as input, you can tell me, okay, that's how the y should looks like. So that shows some kind of relationship between x and y. I recommend you to go through a few more mathematical videos related to functions. So what really function in Python and how we should write our code? Okay, so let's kick things off with structure in function. To understand the structure, these few things you should always be clear with, like what is the definitions, what is the short form of definitions, what is the return statement, how to call a function, how the parameter and arguments should be assigned. So these are the structure in general a function can look like in Python. So at first you always need to start with the short form of definition, which is DEF. Okay, so let's say def and then give a space. Then you need to provide a function name. It can be any name. Okay, it's up to you whatever name you want to assign. Then you need to give a parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, you need to assign some kind of parameters. It's like parameter is like the variable you're having in your functions. You may have one variable, you may have two variables, you may have more than two variables. So for example here, y is equal to twice x plus 3. Here y is a variable, x is a variable. So you can assign x here as your parameter. So later on, in the function body, you can write some kind of equations or formulas based on those parameter or variable that you have assigned. So anyway, after writing the parameter, you need to use a colon symbol. Then inside this colon symbol, that's our function body. Inside this function body, you can write whatever you want to do. Well, in some cases, maybe you need to write some kind of conditions. You need to assign some kind of looping based on the problem you have. So that's how the structure in general you may have to write a function. I'll get back to this few things again later on while solving some examples. In the next few videos, you will try to solve as many problems by using functions, also with a combination of if else, looping, and other stuff you have learned till now. Okay. So how can you write a function without assigning, any kind of parameter? Let's say I just want to print something. I don't want to write like, okay, x equal to y or anything like that. So what I can write is that DEF, which is the short form of definition. So let's start with that. Let's say I'm writing a function name with my name Saif. And then you need to use a parenthesis. And then you need to use a colon symbol. So as I said, inside this parenthesis, usually you should have some kind of parameters. Now at this moment, let's say I don't have any parameter. So inside this loop body, I just want to print something. Let me use the built-in function print. And then let's say I'm printing like, okay, subscribe my YouTube channel if you haven't done yet. Okay, so subscribe my YouTube channel. So I want to print this statement. Cool. Now let me hit the run button here. And here you can see it works perfectly, right? Now let me call the function safe. Okay, so let me call the function safe with parentheses. So after running the function, whenever you're calling your function name, you can always call it. In fact, you have to call it with the same name, but here we are not having any kind of parameters. But in general, when you have some parameters, you can always use different values to see how the function works. So now let me hit the run button here. Now I should get subscribe my YouTube channel, because I said that inside this safe function, I only want to have this statement. Okay, so that's a little bit ideas about writing a function. That's not something really significant to understand. Let's go forward how to write a function with parameter. Okay, so let's consider another function with same name. Let's say the function name is safe again here, and then now let's consider a parameter which is x. So function name is safe and the parameter is x. Now let me use a colon symbol here. Now let me click the enter. Make sure you have some space. Okay, by default you usually have 4 spaces. Now let's say I want to have x minus 10. That means let's say I want to subtract 10 from the x. That's our function. Now if I hit the run button, it should not give me the result properly, because I did not say I want to return this equation. So now let me call the function name, and let's say the value of x is 10. Let me hit the run button here. Okay, you can see I'm not getting anything. Okay, I'm not getting anything with this function. So that's where we need to have the return statement. That's why I told you it's important to understand these few things. So return is like it helps you to executing the result or executing the equation or formulas that you are assigning in the loop body. Okay, so this is something like the end of the executions. Always you need to use. So now let me hit the run button again, and here I'm calling the function name safe. Inside this, I'm assigning a value 10. By assigning a value of the parameter, we call it arguments. Okay, so this is something you need to understand as well. So x is the parameter and 10 is the argument. Now let me hit the run button here. Okay, I'm getting 0 because 10 minus 10 is equal to 0, right? Now let me use a different number. I can use any arguments I want here. Okay, that's the beauty of function. So now I'm using 20, so it should looks like 20 minus 10, which is 10. That's what I got in my output here. So that's how you can write a function. You can define argument, parameter, all the stuffs. Well, let me show you with 1 or 2 more example, guys. This is a very simple example as well. So let's say I want to write a function that takes 2 number as arguments and returns their sum. That means I want to have summation in my loop body. Also, I want to have summations for 2 numbers. So now let me solve this problem as well. These are very simple problem as well. So let me use the def, and let's say the function name is sum underscore, or let's say summation 0 1, or I can simply write calculate summation. Why I'm writing that, guys, there are some built-in function that may have like sum. So when you are giving the same name, it will not follow what you are doing inside the function. It will follow the built-in function that already existed in the Python. So you need to be careful with that. Okay, so here I'm using a different name. Calculate sum is my function name, and then I'm using a parenthesis inside that. Let's say I have 2 parameter, one is a, another is b. So this 2 parameter is for 2 number, which is our input. Okay, and then give away underscore. Then you need to simply write a plus b, because you want to have addition in your output. So I want to return this. So return a plus b. Now if I hit the run button, you can see the function is working well. Now let me call the function. You need to write exactly the same name. Okay, otherwise it will not work. So calculate sum, and then now I need to assign some arguments. So for variable a or parameter a, let's say the argument is 23. For variable b, let's say that is 7. Now let me hit the run button here. Okay, that's fine. That's working very well. So 23 plus 7 is 30. That's how I got in my result. So you can always change your arguments and get different results by following the functions you have created. Now guys, let's write one more function. This is a little bit tricky compared to the last one. Okay, so here now I'm saying that write a function that takes a list of numbers as arguments and returns their average. Okay, so let me define the function name at first. Let's say that is cal underscore average. If I only use average, I might get I might not get the result I'm looking for, or I should get the result in fact, because the average might already assigned by Python as a built-in function. So average already created. So be careful with the name again, guys. So here, let's assign the parameter x only, okay? Because let's say x is a list of numbers. X is not a specific one number, it's a list of numbers. So you need to create a list when you're calling the function parameter x. And then use a colon symbol. Then we need to write down the formula of average, which is the total of all observations divided by the number of observations, which is the length of observations. So let me just create total, or I can simply create return average is equal to sum of x divided by length of x. So len is already a built-in function which I'm using to create this average. Okay, so that's the function, that's the formula of average for the list x. Now let me hit the run button here. Okay, I'm getting some kind of error. That means it's not working 100% well. Okay, so what is the reason it's not working? So let me do it a little bit different way. Okay, so let me write down like total is equal to sum of x. That should be an easy one to use. You just need to make sure that x is a small letter here. And then let's say I'm writing now, okay, I want to see the average is equal to total divided by length of x. So len, there should be a built-in function if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure if this is the reason this is not working, but let's try it out again. Okay, and then let's say I want to return the average only. Return average. Okay, that should work now. Writing separately is something I like to do. So okay, that works. You can see now that works. Now let me call the function here. Let's say x is a list that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the average should be like 3 here, right? Now let me call the function cal average. Let's say that is x. Okay, I think that should still work. Although it's better to assign with different name instead of x. So here you can see x is a list here. I'm calling the x and I got the result as 3. And again, without writing x, you can also even try it out with the list directly. I think that should even work as well. So let's say I'm writing 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, let's forget about x here. So the value of x is the list which I am defining directly here, and that is our argument here. Okay, now I should get average, which is 2. Let me hit the run button here. Cool. Here I got the result. You can see. So that's what the that's how you should deal with different functions, guys. These are pretty easy problems to work with, but in the next few videos, as I said, we'll try to work with some complex problems related to functions, looping, and if else. So see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.